What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and I'm finally back from All-Star Weekend, and with me I have a brand new sneaker courtesy of Jordan brand that doesn't even actually have a release date yet. And that sneaker is the Jordan Proto-Max 720. Like I said, I just got back from All-Star Weekend, and if you would like to check out some of the cool things that I got into and some of the really cool things that were going on, make sure to check out my Instagram and my Twitter at @RealSethFowler. But on to the main reason that we're here today, and that reason is the Jordan Proto-Max 720. This sneaker was announced back in, I believe, September, and the cool part about it is that it's sort of a collaboration between Nike and Jordan brand. It's part of the Proto collection of shoes that Jordan brand is coming out with in the next couple months, which include not only the Proto-Max 720, but also the Proto React and a version called the Proto Apex, which I believe is sort of a Flyknit Jordan 1 inside sort of a plastic mesh upper. But this Jordan Proto-Max 720 is the first one of those three shoes that I've actually been able to own and wear around, so why don't we jump into my thoughts in the review. Starting off in the upper of the sneaker, you have this bright red plastic mesh feeling fabric, and it actually looks and feels very similar to what you have on the Nike Element React 87s and also the off-white UNC 1s. It feels like a pretty durable material and actually reminds me a lot of something like an ACG sneaker. When I first showed this shoe to my friend Tony D, he asked whether this upper material was waterproof, and so I took it upon myself to actually throw this sneaker under a sink and find out for myself. And I've got to say, it's not 100% waterproof. It's definitely water resistant, but I wouldn't say that it's waterproof. Like, water will seep in over time if you pour enough water on it, which I apparently did. But if you're just walking through the rain and not sort of jumping in puddles, you should be fine. Underneath this red material, you've actually got this thick neoprene bootie that completely surrounds your foot and makes the shoe a lot more comfortable. Because if you didn't have that, your foot would be right up against this sort of plasticky material and the shoe wouldn't have any structure, and honestly, it just wouldn't feel good. The neoprene does have some perforations throughout, which makes it somewhat breathable, but it's still not the most breathable sneaker I've ever tried on. As you move up the shoe, you've got this black loop lacing system, which actually wraps all the way around the ankle, and as you move towards the heel of the sneaker, they become much more of a design detail than an actual functional thing. Weaving through those lace loops, you've got these black flat laces with red metal aglets. Around the base of the laces, you also have these black numbers printed on both sides. On the lateral side, you have 3 zeros and then the number 23, and then on the medial side, you have some sort of coordinates, which I assume is something to do with Jordan brand. The tongue itself has a very similar construction to the rest of the upper. The top layer of the tongue is that same sort of plastic mesh that you find on the upper of the shoe, except this time around it comes in black, and underneath that material, you've also got more of that same neoprene. The one difference is that you can actually separate the plastic mesh from the neoprene by popping out this little metal button for whatever reason. I'm not sure exactly why you'd want to do that, but it's an option. As for fit, the Jordan Proto-Max 720 does seem to fit true to size. However, if you need to customize the fit, you can obviously tighten the laces or use this sort of strap system on the heel of the sneaker. Both the sock liner and the insole of the sneaker come in black with red logos printed on the heel of the insole. Continuing back on the sneaker, you get to this strap system that I mentioned before. It's basically just a Velcro strap that loops back on itself and it's connected on both sides of the midfoot. And its main purpose is basically just to tighten up the heel around your ankle. In my opinion, the strap itself isn't functionally necessary, like I never really needed to tighten up the heel of the sneaker, but if for some reason you get a shoe that just is slightly too big, or if your heel just doesn't fit in the back of the shoe, you can always tighten it up. The strap has this red patent leather accent at the end of it that has these black horizontal lines that are printed on top of the patent leather that actually form the Jordan Wings logo when you look at it from a distance. The strap also has some black text around the outside of it that on the right shoe says 23 and then has 3 zeros, and then on the left shoe says the word Jumpman. The medial side of the shoe features the more intricate and detailed side of the strap system. Moving around to the heel of the sneaker, you've got this black pull tab with the red Jumpman. Around the base of the upper, you've got this black TPU heel clip for added stability that has the word AirMax debossed into the medial side. Moving down on the sneaker, you've got this black, very soft midsole that reminds me a lot of the Air Jordan 3. And then just underneath the foam midsole, you've got this bright red AirMax 720 Air unit. This Air unit was obviously taken directly off the AirMax 720, and if you've seen my review of that sneaker, you know how I feel about it. And of course, if you haven't seen it, make sure to click the link at the top of the screen. TLDR, it's a great air unit and it feels great underfoot, but because it extends so far out from the heel of the sneaker, it does take a little bit of time to learn how to walk in this shoe. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. And then finally, moving to the bottom of the sneaker, you've got this pretty thick, semi-translucent, sort of smoke gray outsole. And rounding off the outsole, you have both the AirMax logo and the red Jumpman. Overall, my thoughts on this sneaker are positive. It's a very cool collaboration between two brands that seem like they're the same thing, but technically aren't. Personally, this isn't a sneaker that I would like run out to the store to get, like an Air Jordan 1 Retro, but that definitely doesn't mean that I don't like this sneaker. I think it's a good looking sneaker. I think it definitely has a more rugged aesthetic, so you could probably hike in this shoe if you wanted to. And I like how comfortable it is. This AirMax 720 unit feels great underfoot. That being said, if you want to grab a pair of the Jordan Proto-Max 720s, I really don't have too much more information to give you. I don't know when it releases. I don't know the price point because Jordan Brand hasn't let me know any of that. But what I do have to say is that it's a good sneaker and you can't really go wrong buying it. And that pretty much wraps up the video for today. Now I would love to know your thoughts on the Jordan Proto-Max 720 and whether you'd like to grab a pair when it finally releases. Still don't exactly know when that's going to be, but make sure to leave those comments in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe down below if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.